Welcome back everyone, Zeke here for another exciting episode in this Let's Play series of Resident Evil 4. You join us at the start of episode 6 in this series, and of course, if you do enjoy this video and find it helpful, then please don't hesitate to leave a like, comment, share and subscribe to stay tuned for all my newly released videos. So as a quick recap, in the last episode we managed to rescue Ashley Graham, the President's daughter, and make our way then through a very nice area and down a stair lift, and we're just now in chapter 2-3, and we're just about to take on the mayor of the town and engage in a nice boss fight. Just a minute ago, in the last episode, should I say, we sold all the equipment that we didn't need, got rid of all the ammos, stocked up on our grenades, and tried to do the best that we possibly could. Of course, Ashley did get a little bit injured, but I'm not overly worried about that. As soon as you come down to this path, this is the actual hut that you'll be doing the boss fight in, and I thoroughly recommend, obviously before this point, upgrading the damage on your pistol. This is going to be a very tense boss fight now. But luckily we haven't got to worry about Ashley Graham during this, so it is just going to come down to our ability to shoot and avoid getting damaged. One thing that I would completely advise is keeping your hands on the controller at this stage, because during this cutscene there will be a nice little quick time event. It's amazing how the mayor of the town managed to get round behind us without us even noticing. As you can see, he is super strong, and I'm very surprised Leon didn't get more hurt than that. Who knows, are we going to survive? Well, I hope so, but I can't really say much. And here it comes. Make sure that you are dodging that, because if you don't, it is going to be a one-hit to kill, and like most of the things. Probably Leon's smartest, yet not smartest thing here now. Why not set the guy on fire and cause a massive explosion? Not like you're in a barn with him or anything, Leon. And this is why we don't like the town mayor. He is completely and utterly infected, and he looks like that. Lovely. So, hopefully everyone's restocked on ammo. The best thing that you want to do in this particular stage is go for headshots with your pistol. Try not to move away from him so much like I did. That was kind of silly, but I'm leading him to this barrel. Grenades are also helpful when he bends backwards. You do want to run past him. This first part of the fight isn't exactly that difficult. Keep an eye on him, use high-powered weapons. You're looking rifles, grenades, anything that could potentially get a headshot or do loads amount of damage to him. As I said, aiming for the head is also good, or the torso. Don't aim for the little thing connecting him between sort of his upper and lower body. That's not really going to do much. Of course, if you do manage to get some distance to him, he might do a quick time event, as you see one flashed up on the screen just then. So make sure you are keeping an eye on those prompts. Most of the time you can just run past it anyway, so don't overly worry. Of course, these are going to be massive damage attacks, so if he does hit you, you do need to make sure that you do have some kind of healing items on you. As you can see, he is being a bit of a bullet sponge, and I am utilising my rifle a little bit more than I probably should have. And so far I'm not using any grenades. Picking up that TMP ammo probably wasn't the smartest idea I've ever made, but I believe with some jiggery-pokery I might actually be able to pick that up. Maybe in a second. As you can see, I'm not being very wholly accurate during this fight, so don't overly worry. I know I've got the ammo to spare. It shouldn't be too long that I managed to take him down. And don't think that if he gets you once, as you can see, he just went through all of my health there in that one attack. You've really got to make sure that you are stockpiling health items beforehand and doing the best that you possibly can. As I said, headshots are most effective, but once a certain amount of damage is dealt through our various means, this will happen. And this is where the fight gets a little bit more annoying, to be honest. One thing that you do want to be utilising now is grenades. Flash grenades are often good to get him down off the rafters. Other than that, your rifle and pistol is also good. I wouldn't overly recommend the shotgun at this particular stage unless you can knock him onto the floor, but that's completely up to you. What you want to do there is try and follow him as he goes through his rafters. If he is, or gets to the stage that he's right in front of you, you want to move out the way of him. If you don't, he's going to hit you for a massive damage attack, and you're going to be going through those healing items like crazy. At this current moment, I'm just trying to knock him down, and as you can see, I was a little bit stupid, didn't heed my own advice there. He came down in front of me, and I pretty much stood there and took it. Making sure that my health is as full as I possibly can. See, I don't want to make it too easy for him to kill me, and especially not in this no-death walkthrough that we kind of seem to be doing quite okay on. If you do run out of ammo or items, grenades, etc., there is tons floating about the barn, I suppose I could call it, and there's enough to create a fall healing herb, so red, green, yellow, and there is also a few grenades. I don't overly like being up here with him. He does scare me a little bit. As you can see, you do not want to get hit by that attack while you're up there. That was my own stupid fault, and I can't believe I actually let him hit me like that. Just a quick item inventory there, and there we go. Any high-powered attack while he's on the rafters, such as with the rifle, potentially with a shotgun, or a nice headshot with a pistol, can get him to drop, and that is where you want to make your move. You can just about see him in the smoke as well, so don't feel like you can't shoot him when he goes away from you. This is just his way of getting some distance and trying to be a right pain in the backside, to be honest. So here, now I should really have moved way before then, but I decided not to. My pistol shot dropping him and catching him as he went to jump up. After a certain amount of damage he will die, which is the thing that we obviously want him to do, and he will drop his false eye. At this particular stage I would recommend that you make sure that you've reloaded all your guns, and of course you will need to pick up the false eye at one stage. This is going to allow us to progress on to the next level and the next part and continue our adventures with the President's daughter. That sounds really wrong. Don't forget to pick up the money that you dropped, and of course you're in no rush to actually leave this area. This is where I sort of got stuck the first time that I played it. I just jumped straight out and completely forgot about all the ammunition. This will stay here until you leave, but once you leave you cannot come back, so make sure that you have grabbed absolutely everything. There's things on the left and the right of the front door, there's things by the explosive barrel that we dropped earlier, and of course grenades and health items above us as we've picked up so far. See now, just making sure that everything's reloaded, and once you've done that and make sure that you've got everything, you will need to jump over this area of the barn. I don't know if the barn is the best way to describe it, but that is what I will call it. So at this stage we are completely safe from enemies, and of course that is a boss fight done, which you have done there. If it is your first time completing it, you will get a nice little trophy or achievement, depending on what system you're playing on, and feel a great sense of accomplishment for defeating an enemy and not dying. One of these days I may actually have to try and go through this game as a no-death walkthrough, but it'll be on that day that I cry myself to sleep. So, with a little bit of backtrack there, of course, feel free to sell anything that you got during that fight that you don't need. For example, for me that's going to be TMP ammo. I picked up some, don't need it, and of course he's trying to still get me to pick up the new pistol that we got for the blue medallions. I swear at one stage I will actually pick that up, just to stop him asking. Gonna sell the spinel, and obviously we've got the other things. There is no way that he's going to give me first aid, which is a bit annoying because I don't have that much going forward. And what you want to do now is obviously backtrack to the area where we last saw the merchant, and we had that area that needed the eye to open. Of course, if at any stage during this backtrack that you haven't picked up items, for example in the room to the right of me, or into the little cave down to the left, and that is what actually led to Ashley being hurt when I did it, I would go get those now, just because you will not be coming back to this area either. The joyous thing about Resident Evil 4 is it does sort of do a little bit of backtracking sometimes, but this sort of helps, just in case you ever forget items or don't grab them. And of course, don't be afraid to constantly look at your map, especially if you've purchased the treasure map upgrades, because that will lead you to some very nice things that can then help you on your way. The thing on the left is where we need to go, but I'm just going to run down and make a quick save in this room. Just make sure that we're not losing our progress here, and making sure I don't die terribly in a ball of fire. So now, on our way, after that save, back up the path. Of course, make sure that you've picked up any Velvet Blues or any pistol ammo. Velvet Blues are the little sort of crystalline things that you can sell. And interact with the door, making sure to hold up the false eye if you've got other things. Obviously nothing else will work. It's amazing how he knows this door actually works, having not seen an enemy go through it, but somehow guesses. Who knows, this is Leon at the end of the day. And we get to the spooky castle. But before we go there, I thoroughly recommend that you pull out your rifle, or a gun that you are good at. For example, for me, it's my pistol. Once you make your way up this path, the first thing that you want to do is back away slowly and start aiming at the driver's seat, so the right of the frame, to this truck. If you do not shoot the truck in time, you will die. Be sure to back away as well, because the truck does travel a little bit to avoid being squished. A couple of times I have shot the driver in previous playthroughs and then got killed by the truck falling over onto me. Now you can either run from these guys or shoot them. I'm going to be a bit silly and stand and shoot, only because I want more items, I want more money that they may or may not drop. The one good thing that you can do here is, of course, hold them by the truck. This will really allow you to get some good shotgun shots on them, or indeed anything for grenades, flash grenades, incendiary grenades, or just normal grenades if you so have them. As you can see, they're not overly too many of them, but one thing you want to do, make sure that you do, is keep Ashley with you. Once I left it by the door, and then defeated the truck, and then as I turned around, Ashley died, and was taken, so that's very not good. Of course, if you are quick enough to dispatch the enemies, or if you run straight up the path, the enemies that the truck ran over will have dropped some items. This is normally like some very small amount of cash, and potentially some ammo, depending on how well you're doing, but every little helps in a way. We've got now the Velvet Blue, which will sort of replace the spinels, and of course once we hit this stage will be a very nice cutscene with Leon.
On the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
You take that one.
Okay.
Ready? Come on.
Yeah.
So there we have it, the end of the chapter. No deaths so far. We're now moving into the very nice 2-3 chapter end. And of course making our way to the glory that is the castle. For a second then my trailer thought just went terribly wrong. Of course the merchant is following us like usual, so make sure that you are getting rid of everything else. And of course once we've hit this stage he's going to have a larger attaché case, a treasure map. Those are the two that you really want to be buying if you can. The Blacktail, which is a very nice and a little bit better pistol. As you can see, it has a little bit more higher stats than, say, the Punisher, which of course I probably should buy and sell, but as you can see, there is firepower upgrades for pistols, so in this particular stage it would make more sense for me to buy the Blacktail, even though I do want to sort of stick with my original pistol, but for the upgraded firepower, reload speed, etc., it is going to be a little bit more advantageous for me to keep the Blacktail. And of course, with the money there, I'm just going to do the first 3 upgrades, not going to overly worry about the 4th. And of course, at this stage we're going to get some new guns now, so shotguns will be replaced by the riot gun, the rifle will be replaced by the semi-auto rifle. It's always best at this stage to get rid of the guns, the previous guns that you've had, and buy the upgraded versions. This is why they give the slightly bigger attaché case. As you can see, I'm not going to be able to quite swap it over there. What I need to do is move my pistol up, and then move those... okay, I've done this in such a weird way now. I should have just taken the gun out, the shotgun out, put it into the attaché case to the right, and then just taken the gun, but never mind, I make silly mistakes. So basically what I'm going to be doing, and this is my main thing, is I'm going to be buying the semi-auto rifle and the new shotgun, and we've got to make sure that when we're selling them, make sure that you are selling the right one. A couple of times I have bought a rifle and then accidentally sold it. And when you do buy the new rifle, make sure that you are also buying the new scope for it, the semi-auto scope. Otherwise you're going to be in a bit of a bother when you go to fire it, and it's not going to be the best. As you can see, that's perfectly doing it, but you also have the mine thrower. I completely forgot about that. And the scope for the mine thrower. I personally don't like the mine thrower. I don't tend to use this. Make sure that you are equipping the scope to the rifle. Again, silly little things, but I always forget to do it. I'm going to buy a first aid spray just to make sure that I've got enough, and of course, this is where I'm going to end this video, so if you would like to see more, then please don't hesitate to leave a like, comment, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for my newest video on Resident Evil 4 No Death walkthrough, which will be coming out next Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, have a lovely day.